I used to believe happiness was quiet. It didn't shout. It didn't beg, it simply stayed. That was what I told Ethan one night while we sat on the balcony, our feet touching, the city breathing below us. Love doesn't need effort, I said. If it's real, it won't leave, Ethan laughed softly. You always say that, because it's true, I replied. I don't believe in fighting for someone who already chose me. Lena agreed with me, of course. She always did. You're lucky, she said one afternoon, stirring sugar into her coffee. Most girls chase love. You let it come to you. I smiled at her. Chasing only scares people away. She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. You're strong like that, I trusted her. I trusted both of them without question. Ethan texted me every morning. Did you sleep? Yes. Dream of me? Always. Those messages felt like proof. Proof that love didn't mean noise. Sometimes Ethan said things that made my chest tighten. You're too calm, he once said. I laughed. Is that bad? It's strange, she replied. Most women would fight more, I shrugged. I don't want to own you. He didn't answer, but I told myself silence meant understanding. Lena noticed everything before I did. He looks restless, she whispered once while Ethan talked to someone else. He's just tired, I said. She frowned. You always defend him. Because I trust him, I replied. And I trust you. Looking back, that sentence hurts the most. At night, I lay beside Ethan and felt safe. You know I'd never hurt you, he said once, his voice low. I know, I answered without thinking. He hesitated. If I ever pulled away, would you fight for me? I turned toward him. If you pull away, you already decided. He stared at the ceiling. You're different. I thought you liked that. I do, he said, but his tone felt unsure. I ignored that feeling. I ignored every pause, every unfinished sentence. I told myself love didn't need constant reassurance. I believed patience was maturity. Silence was dignity. Now, with everything I remember, I see how fragile that peace was, how quiet happiness can hide cracks. Back then, I thought calm meant safe. I thought loyalty was enough to hold people together. That night ended like every other. Ethan kissed my forehead. Good night, he said. Good night, I replied. I lay awake longer than usual, listening to his breathing, feeling strangely still. The world felt balanced, almost perfect, too perfect. I didn't know yet that this calm was only the pause before my life shattered. I heard my name before I saw them. Just tell her later, Lena said softly. Ethan sighed. I didn't plan it like this. My feet stopped moving. My breath froze. I stood behind the half-open door, my heart beating so loud I thought they would hear it. She trusts you, Lena whispered. I know, Ethan replied. That's the problem. I pressed my hand to my mouth. Problem? When were you going to end it? Lena asked. Ethan was quiet. Too quiet. Soon, he said. After tonight. The room tilted. Tonight was supposed to be ours. I stepped inside before my fear could stop me. And what? I asked. They both turned. Lena gasped like she had been stabbed. Ethan's face went pale. How long? I asked. My voice didn't shake. That scared me more than tears would have. It's not what you think, Ethan said quickly. I nodded slowly. Then tell me what to think. Lena started crying. I never wanted to hurt you. I looked at her. But you did. She covered her face. I fell in love. Ethan stepped forward. You don't understand. I laughed once. You're right. I don't understand how my best friend and my boyfriend planned this behind my back. He clenched his jaw. You're being cold. Cold? I repeated. I'm listening. You don't react, he snapped. You don't fight. My chest burned. So that makes it okay? You're easy to replace, he said, then froze. The words hit harder than a slap. Lena sobbed louder. I didn't mean. I raised my hand. Don't fix it? Silence filled the room. I felt my heart breaking piece by piece, but my body stayed still. Aren't you going to say something? Ethan demanded. I am, I replied. I'm leaving. That's it, he asked. After everything? I met his eyes. You already chose. Lena looked up, eyes red. Please don't hate me. I don't, I said honestly. I just see you now. Ethan grabbed my arm. You're just going to walk away? I pulled free. Yes, I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't cry in front of them. I walked out, each step feeling heavier than the last. Behind me, Ethan called my name once. I didn't turn around. Outside, the air felt sharp. My legs shook. My heart finally caught up with the pain. I leaned against the wall and whispered, "This hurts." No one answered. I knew then that my silence would stay with him. Not my anger, not my tears. The fact that I didn't fight would be the thing that broke him in the end. I packed my things in silence. The apartment felt like it had already erased me. Ethan stood near the door. "You don't have to leave tonight," he said. "It stopped being my home when you chose her," I replied. He sighed. "You're making this dramatic." I zipped my bag. "You made it final." Outside, my phone buzzed nonstop. Messages from people I thought were friends. "Is it true?" "We heard you overreacted. Ethan said you checked out of the relationship months ago." I stared at the screen. My fingers hovered, then dropped. I didn't defend myself. At night, I lay on a borrowed couch and stared at the ceiling. Sleep refused to come. My thoughts argued with each other. "You should have yelled. You should have stayed. You should have fought," I whispered. I didn't know how. The next day at work, Mara sat across from me in the break room. She pushed a cup of tea toward me. "You look tired," she said quietly. "I didn't sleep," I answered. She nodded. "You don't have to explain." That made my chest ache more than questions would have. Ethan's name kept appearing everywhere. Social media posts shared photos. Lena smiling beside him. "He looks happy," someone commented. I closed the app. "Good," I said to no one. One evening, a mutual friend called. "Why didn't you try harder?" she asked. "I trusted him," I replied. "That's not enough," she said. I ended the call without answering. Alone again, I finally cried. Not loud, not pretty. My body shook as shame crawled over me. Was I too quiet? I asked the dark room. No answer came. Only the memory of Ethan's voice. "You're easy to replace." Mara walked me to the bus stop one night. "You don't talk much," she said. "I don't know what to say anymore," I admitted. She smiled gently. "Then don't, sit with it," I nodded. Her calm felt honest. Days blurred together. I stopped checking my phone. I stopped waiting. The silence grew heavy, but it also grew clear. I wasn't angry at Ethan anymore. I wasn't even thinking about Lena. One night I looked at my reflection in the dark window. Who did you lose? I asked myself. Not Ethan, not the future we planned. I lost the woman who believed trust could protect her. I missed her innocence. I missed believing silence was strength. I leaned my forehead against the glass and whispered, "I want myself back." Pain came first, then silence. "Can you hear me?" A voice asked. I tried to answer, but darkness swallowed my words. When I opened my eyes, the ceiling wasn't the hospital one I remembered. It was pale blue with a small crack near the fan. My heart started racing. "This isn't right," I whispered. My phone buzzed beside me. I grabbed it with shaking hands. The date stared back at me, years earlier. "No," I said. "No, no, no," my voice sounded younger. My hands looked the same way they had before everything broke. "This is impossible," I muttered. But my memories were sharp. Ethan, Lena, the betrayal, the silence. My mother knocked and opened the door. "Are you awake already?" she asked. I stared at her. "Mom?" She smiled. "Did you have a bad dream?" I swallowed. "Something like that." She touched my forehead. "You're safe. Come eat before you're late." At the table, my father read the paper. "You look lost," he said. "I feel strange," I replied. He chuckled. "You always do in the morning." I watched them talk, laugh, exist. I had been so busy loving Ethan that I forgot this warmth. Later, I locked myself in my room and spoke to the mirror. "You know how this ends," I told my reflection. The girl staring back looked hopeful, soft. "I won't let you be hurt again," I said to her. My phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number. "Hey, this is Ethan. Got your contact from a friend." My chest tightened. "So this is the beginning," I whispered. I didn't reply. "What do you want to do?" I asked myself. My thoughts answered quickly. "Not this again." At dinner, my mother said, "You're quiet today." "I'm thinking," I replied. "About what?" "About choosing better," I said honestly. She smiled without understanding. That night, I lay in bed wide awake. "You don't need revenge," I told myself. "You need distance." I remembered every moment I stayed silent, believing it made me strong. This time, silence will protect me, I said. The next day, Ethan appeared at a gathering. You're the girl who doesn't talk much, he said, smiling. I talk when it matters, I replied. He laughed. I like that. I looked at him calmly. That doesn't mean I'll fight for you. He blinked. What? Nothing, I said. Just thinking out loud. Walking home, my heart felt steady. I don't need to prove my love, I whispered. If someone leaves, I will let them go. For the first time, rebirth didn't feel like a gift or a curse. It felt like a test, and I knew my answer. I would never fight for love that had to be begged for ever again. I met Ethan again under bright lights and loud voices. You look familiar, he said, smiling the same way he always did. We met once, I replied. He laughed. Once was enough for me to remember. I kept my distance. I answered politely. I never leaned in. Are you always this quiet? He asked one evening. Only when I don't feel like explaining myself, I said. He tilted his head. That's interesting. Days passed, and he kept finding reasons to talk to me. Did you eat? Yes. What are you reading? Nothing important, he frowned. You never open up. I smiled. You never asked the right questions. I noticed the shift before he did. The way he watched me. The way his voice softened. You don't need to act strong all the time, he said once. I'm not acting, I replied. That's what scares me, he said quietly. No one entered my life without noise. He sat beside me during lunch at work. You don't talk much, he said calmly. I listen, I replied. He nodded. That explains a lot. He never pushed, never waited for more than I offered. Ethan noticed Noah immediately. Who's that? He asked. A colleague, I said. You smile around him, Ethan replied. I smile when I'm comfortable. Lena appeared soon after, just like before. Oh my God, Ethan, she said brightly. We meet again, he laughed. Small world? She glanced at me. You don't mind, right? No, I said. Why would I? I watched her lean closer to him. I watched him hesitate. Something's off, Ethan said later. With what? I asked. With you, he replied. You don't care. I care about peace, I said. One night, Ethan confronted me. You're different, he said. I grew, I replied. Did I do something wrong? I shook my head. Not yet. He grabbed my wrist lightly. You don't chase me. I don't need to. That's not normal, he said. It's healthy, I replied. Noah walked me home another evening. You don't owe anyone explanations, he said. I know, I answered. He smiled. Good. Ethan's messages grew longer. His replies came faster. Do you like me? He asked once. I like myself, I replied. The power shifted quietly. I felt it in my calm. In his confusion? One night, he stood in front of me, frustration clear in his eyes. Why don't you fight for me? He asked. I looked at him. I felt nothing rise in my chest. No fear, no need. I stayed silent. Ethan stopped smiling around me. Did I upset you? He asked one afternoon. No, I said. Then why do you feel so far away? I'm right here. He didn't believe me. I could see it in his eyes. Say something, he urged. I'm saying something, I replied. You just don't like it. That's not fair, he said. I'm not being unfair, I answered. I'm being honest. His messages turned restless. Are you mad? No. Do you care at all? I care enough not to lie. That answer made him quiet for hours. Lena stepped closer again, just like before. You seem lonely, she told him loudly, making sure I heard. He glanced at me. I said nothing. She smiled. Some people don't know how to love properly. I looked at her. Some people confuse noise with depth. Her smile tightened. Later, Ethan confronted me. She understands me, he said. I'm glad, I replied. That's it? That's enough. You don't even try, he snapped. I won't compete, I said softly. Inside, guilt pressed against my ribs. Should I warn him? I asked myself. You already did once, another voice answered. I remembered how silence hurt him more than anger ever could. I met Dr. Halle after work. You look calm, she said. I'm tired, I replied. Tired of what? Proving my feelings. She nodded. Why do you think silence feels cruel to him? Because he wants reassurance, I said. And do you owe it? I swallowed. No. Then choosing yourself isn't cruelty, she said. It's boundaries. That night, Ethan called. I feel like I'm losing you, he said. You're not losing me, I replied. You're just not owning me. That's not love, he argued. It is to me. Lena's voice appeared in the background. Ethan, you deserve someone who fights. I closed my eyes. Say something, he begged. I already have, I said. You just don't hear it. There was a long pause. I can't keep guessing, he said finally. You don't have to, I replied. Then I'll choose someone who chooses me loudly, he said. I nodded, even though he couldn't see it. That's your right. The call ended. I sat in the dark, heart steady but heavy. Was that wrong? I whispered. I imagined Dr. Hale's voice. No, it was honest. The next day, Ethan stood beside Lena, pride stiff in his posture. I made my decision, he said. I see that, I replied. He waited for pain, for anger, for regret. I gave him nothing. As they walked away together, I finally understood. He didn't choose her because he loved her more. He chose her because she fought. And I stayed silent because, this time I chose myself. Ethan didn't say goodbye properly, he never did. I think this is it, he said, standing across from me. I nodded. I know. He waited for something else. Tears. Questions. I only felt relief. You're not upset, he said. I already was, I replied. I'm done now. That's cold, he muttered. No, I said. It's finished. Lena stood beside him, holding his arm like a trophy. You made the right choice, she said. I smiled politely. If that's what you believe. Her smile widened. She thought she won. After they left, the silence felt different. Not heavy, clean. So this is peace, I whispered. For the first time, my chest didn't ache. I threw myself into work. You're focused lately, my manager said. I finally am, I replied. Late nights turned into promotions. Confidence replaced doubt. I stopped checking my phone. I stopped replaying conversations. No one noticed before anyone else. You look lighter, he said while we walked to lunch. I feel lighter, I answered. You didn't lose anything, he said. I lost a habit, I replied. He never asked about Ethan, never asked for explanations. You don't owe me stories, he told me once. That's rare, I said. Respect should be normal, he replied. One evening, Ethan messaged me. Are you happy? Yes, I typed, then paused. I'm at peace, I sent instead. He didn't reply. Weeks passed. Lena's voice grew louder online. Photos, smiles, proof. She's trying hard, Noah said gently. She always does, I replied. I saw Ethan once, standing across the street as I left work. He didn't wave, just watched. Do you want to talk to him? Noah asked. No, I said. I want to go forward. Later that night, Ethan called. I made a mistake, he said quietly. I know, I replied. You don't want to fix it? I fixed myself, I said. That's not what I meant. It's what I need. He was silent. I never stopped loving you, he said. I stopped waiting, I answered. When the call ended, I didn't shake. I didn't cry. I stood by the window and watched the city glow. You chose well, I told myself. Lena believed she won because she stood beside him. Ethan believed he lost because I walked away. Both were wrong. I didn't win or lose. I chose. And that choice changed everything. Karma didn't arrive with drama. It arrived quietly, like truth usually does. Did you hear about Lena? Mara asked one morning. No, I replied. She lied on her report, she said. More than once, I nodded. That sounds familiar. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel sorry. So this is how it happens, I thought. Slow and fair. Ethan's name came up at work too. He missed another deadline, my manager said. That's unlike him, someone replied. I stayed silent. I remembered how confident he used to sound. How sure he was that things would work out for him. One evening, Ethan called me. I owe you an apology, he said. I leaned back. For what? For blaming you, he replied. For calling you cold. I listened. I didn't interrupt. I was wrong, he continued. I was scared. I know, I said calmly. You don't hate me? He asked. No, I answered. I don't carry things I've outgrown. That made him quiet. I miss you, he said. I don't miss us, I replied. At lunch, Noah sat beside me. You seem peaceful, he said. I am, I answered. Something changed? Something ended? I said. He smiled. That explains it. Later, Lena texted me for the first time in months. We need to talk, she wrote. I stared at the screen, then typed, we don't. She didn't reply. Ethan tried again. I'm struggling, he admitted. I'm sorry, I said. Can we meet? No, I replied gently. You're so calm, he said. I worked for it, I answered. I heard the rest through others. He lost the promotion. She was caught lying again. They're arguing all the time. Each sentence landed softly. Karma wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. One afternoon, a colleague whispered, he keeps asking about you. I shrugged. He should ask himself why. That night, I spoke to my reflection. Do you feel powerful? I asked. No, I answered. I feel finished. Ethan sent one last message. I finally understand you, he wrote. I stared at it for a long time. Too late, I typed, then erased it. Instead, I sent nothing. Noah walked with me after work. You don't look back anymore, he said. I don't need to, I replied. That's growth, he said. That's closure, I answered. I realized then that karma didn't need my help. It never asked for my anger or my revenge. It simply walked into the lives that invited it. And as it settled there, the balance shifted completely. I wasn't watching him fall anymore. I was already gone. Ethan appeared at my office door unannounced. His hair was messy, his suit wrinkled, his eyes were red. I need to talk, he said. You can, I replied calmly. He stepped inside. I've lost everything, he began. My job, my pride. Even Lena. I see, I said. He sank into the chair across from me. Do you know what broke me the most? I waited. Your silence, he whispered. Not your anger, not your tears, your silence. It haunted me every day. I didn't flinch. I only nodded. I can fix it, he said, leaning forward. I can prove I've changed, just give me one more chance. I'm listening, I replied. You don't understand, he said, voice cracking. I love you, I never stopped. I thought you'd fight, that you'd scream, that you'd beg, and when you didn't, I realized I'd lost you. I did fight, I said softly. I fought to survive myself, not to win you back. He blinked. What? You think love is proven by pleading, by chasing, by begging someone to stay. It isn't. I stayed silent because I knew my worth. I refused to let your choices define me. He looked away, shame in his expression. I ruined it, he whispered. I can make it right. No, I said firmly. You made your choice. You let me go. You can't rewrite that with apologies. He reached out. Please. Just hear me out. I am hearing you, I replied. I understand everything. I understand your fear, your mistakes, your arrogance. But understanding isn't forgiveness. He shook his head, voice breaking. I don't know how to fix this. You can't, I said. You can only accept it. And maybe learn from it. He stared at me, disbelief and pain mixing in his eyes. After everything, after all this time, you won't even try. I tried, I said quietly. I tried to care in the way you wanted. I tried to bend to your expectations. I learned something. Love isn't proven by finding alone. It's shown by respect, trust, and choice. You chose poorly. I refused to save what you destroyed. He slumped back in the chair, silent now. Defeat didn't look like pride anymore. It looked hollow, broken. I thought you'd fight for me, he muttered finally. I did, I said, voice steady. I fought for me. He said nothing after that. I watched him leave, the click of the door echoing like a final sentence. My chest felt lighter. My heart felt free. I whispered to myself, some people only learn the hard way. I won't be the lesson anymore, and for the first time I believed it. I found Lena at the cafe where she always liked to sit, sipping her coffee like nothing had happened. I didn't wait. I walked straight to her table. Lena, I said. She looked up, startled. Oh, it's you. I smiled gently. We need to talk. She frowned. About what? Everything, I said. About the lies, the betrayal, the games, she sighed. I didn't mean to. I know, I interrupted softly. But meaning doesn't erase consequences. Her eyes widened. You're calm. I am, I said. Because I've finally understood something important. Anger doesn't fix anything. Silence can teach more than yelling ever could. She looked down at her coffee. So, what do you want from me? Nothing, I said. I don't want revenge. I don't want to hurt you. I want honesty. I want closure. She swallowed. I'm sorry, I really am. I forgive you, I said. Not for you. For me, I forgive, but I won't forget. Her lips pressed together. She nodded. I hope you learn from this, I continued. Not because I said it, but because life will teach you eventually. I will, she whispered. I left her there, calm, steady, feeling lighter than I ever had. The weight of resentment that used to pull at me every day had vanished. Noah met me outside. That went well, he said quietly. It did, I replied. I didn't go for anger, I went for honesty. That feels better than any fight could have. He smiled. You look. Whole, I feel whole, I said. We walked together, side by side. He never held my hand first, he never demanded anything. He simply matched my pace. You're different now, he said. Yes, I replied. I chose myself first. That changes everything. Later I sat at home reflecting. I don't need anyone to validate me, I whispered. Not Ethan, not Lena, not anyone. My phone buzzed with messages from friends I hadn't spoken to in years. I ignored most. I didn't need external approval anymore. I only needed to be true to myself. At dinner, I spoke with Mara over a video call. You seem lighter, she said. I am, I replied. I'm finally at peace with who I am, with what I've survived and what I've learned. Noah texted me later. Thinking of you? I smiled, thinking of me too. No expectations, no need. Just presence. I realized love didn't have to be a battle. It didn't have to be proving, chasing, or begging. It could be quiet, mutual, respectful. And if it wasn't mine to fight for. That night, I stood by the window, watching the city lights. I am enough, I whispered. I don't need to fix anyone. I don't need to be fixed. I choose me. And in that moment, I felt whole, finally free of guilt, free of anger, free of the past. I was simply me. I had chosen myself without regret, without apology. And that choice was everything. The mornings are quiet now. I make my coffee slowly, savor the steam, the warmth. You're up early, Noah said one morning, sitting across from me. I like mornings, I replied. They feel honest, he smiled. That suits you? I walk to work without checking my phone first. No messages, no expectations. You're calm, my manager said. I finally am, I said. Work feels steady. Ethan's name rarely crosses my mind, and when it does, it's like a shadow from another life. Do you think about him? Mara asked over lunch. Sometimes, I admitted. But not with pain, only clarity. She nodded. It's good to see you like this. Noah never pushes. Never asks for explanations. You seem balanced, he said one evening. I learned to stop fighting for things that weren't mine, I replied. That's rare, he said. I'm rare, I said, laughing softly. I live in my apartment now, decorated with things I love. Plants line the window, books pile in neat stacks. I move through the rooms with quiet satisfaction. This is peaceful, I whispered to myself. I run into Ethan once in the city. He stops me. You look happy, he says, voice tight. I am, I reply calmly. He swallows. Made mistakes. I know, I answer. I've lived through them. You don't need my forgiveness anymore. He nods and walks away. I don't watch him leave. Evenings are soft. I read, I write, I drink tea. Do you miss anything? Noah asked once, sitting beside me on the balcony. Not really, I said. I miss the person I was before trusting the wrong people. But I like who I've become. Sometimes I see Lena's posts online. She smiles. She flaunts. It's nothing to me. She's still loud, Noah says quietly. I'm still silent, I reply. And it feels better. Work brings recognition, respect, and independence. No one's opinions control me. You've grown, my manager tells me. I've survived, I reply. That's all growth really is. I hear whispers from mutual friends. Ethan regrets. Lena struggles. But I don't feel triumph. That's not my story anymore, I whisper. It's theirs. At night, I stand by the window, city lights reflecting in my eyes. I am enough, I say softly. I don't need battles. I don't need to be needed. I just am. Noah joins me quietly, hands in pockets, present steady. Do you ever wish things were different? He asks. No, I reply. I wish they were true. The life I've built isn't loud, it isn't noticed by many, but it's mine. And in silence, I've found peace. I often think about that moment when I chose silence over begging. You could have screamed, argued, made him stay, I whispered to myself one morning. I didn't, I replied internally. And that's why I'm here. Noah appeared with coffee. You're reflective today, he said. I'm thinking, I said. About strength. Strength? He asked. Yes, I said. I used to think strength meant fighting, chasing, proving love. I was wrong. He sipped his coffee, eyes on me. Then what is it? Knowing when to walk away, I said. Knowing that love isn't earned by desperation. That's what saved me. I remember Ethan's face when I didn't cry. Didn't plead, didn't yell. You're impossible, he had said once. I'm myself, I replied. I remember Lena's smug smile, thinking she had won. I didn't need to fight her either, I whispered. Her victory was never mine to stop, Noah smiled gently. You've grown into someone steady. Someone untouchable by their games. That's it, I said. I didn't let their choices define me. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need approval. I needed me. I walk through the city streets now without fear or doubt. Do you regret anything? Noah asked as we watched the sunset. Nothing, I said. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every silence led me here. It was all necessary. Sometimes Ethan's messages appear in my mind. I finally understand you, he had written. I smile faintly. Too late, I think. He learned lessons I didn't need to teach. I didn't fight. I just lived. I remember the nights I stayed awake, wondering if silence was weakness. It wasn't, I whisper now. It was clarity, it was courage. It was the strongest love I could show for myself. Noah doesn't push. He sits beside me quietly. You're peaceful, he says. I am, I reply. Because I respected myself enough to refuse chaos, to refuse chasing those who wouldn't choose me without hesitation. I walk into my apartment filled with the life I built alone. Plants, books, lights, and my own laughter. This is freedom, I murmur. I didn't fight to win someone. I fought to save myself. Even when echoes of the past surface, they feel distant. They can't touch me, I whisper. They never could. I make tea, stand by the window, and watch the world glow. Strength isn't noise, I say softly. It's quiet decisions, clear boundaries, and love that never sacrifices your soul for someone else. Noah watches, understanding. You chose well, he says. I chose me, I reply. And in that quiet choice, I find power, peace, and justice. Not the loud kind, but the kind that transforms you entirely. I didn't fight, and that saved me.